Previously on the Crenshaw Corner.
Right.
It just has to be 100% effort.
Right.
So whether that is 30% from one place, 70% from another place, or 20, 10, 6, whatever, you know, it just, that situation has to get 100% effort or attention. Now, as people, we don't walk into any situation, whether it's relationship, whether it's our job, whether it's anything,
Right.
we don't walk into any situation with a total, actual 100% to give. We don't, because
you don't know what part of you do you need to give.
right, and not even so much of that. Okay, if it's your job, if you have a family, you never go into your job 100% thinking about your job. You're thinking about your kids. You're thinking about what are they doing to make sure they're okay. You know, are they paying attention in school? What, so on and so forth. How's your spouse doing that day? When you left them, they didn't seem to be okay. They were having a bad morning. I wonder, did their day turn around? Okay, when I get off work, I got this I need to go to the supermarket. I need to go to the laundromat. I need to go check on my mother. I need to walk the dog. So hello there, family.
Hi, guys.
I didn't see you there.
What's up? What's up?
And welcome back to another edition of the Crenshaw Corner. I am your host, Sanchez Crenshaw, and as always, I am joined by the absolute best part of my day.
Y'all, that's me. That's me, y'all.
The apple of my eye.
I am the apple.
The wind.
Am I do you have a favorite apple?
Do you have a favorite apple?
Like a green apple is my favorite apple. Like, what's your favorite apple?
I think I'm pronouncing it right. The Gala. I think that's it.
It's a Gala.
Yeah, the Gala.
Guys, I'm his Gala apple, y'all.
I ain't say all that.
But I
ain't say
am.
all that.
You ain't got to say it, but I just wanted to let people know what kind of apple I was.
The apple of my eye.
Yes, I am. His Gala apple. Thank you.
The wind beneath my wings.
Not going to do the wind because you're always making fun of me.
And I don't necessarily make fun of you. Okay, I do make fun of you.
Yeah, you make fun of me.
And
I do great wind.
If you say so.
I'm just saying, like.
Okay. Yeah, that's great right there. That's great.
You feel it?
The wind beneath my wings.
I lift you up where you belong.
We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that.
Okay.
The Harriet to my
Parton?
call. What happened?
Who sings that?
Love lift you up with.
God lift us up. Whose song is that?
Love lift us up where we belong. On the mountain. It's been redone by a lot of people.
I don't know why I said Dolly Parton. Because I think she writes and does everything. But anyway, anywho.
No, but
that's not her.
No, I think she might have done a. See, now you got me Googling. I think she might have did a version of it. I think she did. But also the Harriet to my Carl.
Oh, that's easy. That's Family Matters.
Family
oh my
Matters.
gosh.
I thought I would give you an easy.
That was so easy.
I
You're
thought
so
I would do
nice.
You gonna tell the people your name?
What? Well, you know, because you're Googling information for me.
Well, we need to talk, so it can't be dead air. That's not good radio.
Be dead air.
So tell the people your name.
What is going on? What is going on? My name is Angela Crenshaw. Guys, what is going on? Hi.
That's my wife, people.
I am his wife.
People, that's my wife.
Yes.
So the original artist that did Love Lift Us Up Where We Belong. Actually, first of all, I knew this, but I forgot. It was on a soundtrack. Do you know the movie that it was actually on?
I was going to say Rocky, and I don't know why.
No, it's not Rocky.
Hold on. Don't do that.
Released in 1982.
I don't know.
Louis Gossett Jr. was in it. So was Richard Gere.
Shaft? I mean, I don't. No, seriously. Okay. Luke Gossett Jr. and who?
When was Richard Gere ever in Shaft?
I'm just saying.
For that, see, this is what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Just because he a bald head black man, he was Shaft. The original Shaft wasn't even bald.
I'm just saying. Who was in it?
Louis Gossett Jr. Richard Gere. It was set in military. It was on a military base. No,
it wasn't a soldier story. I don't know.
No, it wasn't actually a soldier story. Was an all black cast. This was not an all black cast.
I don't know.
An Officer and a Gentleman.
Officer. I knew that.
Officer and a Gentleman.
Officer and a Gentleman.
Joe Cocker and Jennifer Warnes.
Okay.
Yeah, not
Okay.
Dolly.
Not Dolly.
Not Dolly
I
at
give
all.
Dolly all the credit. Dolly been writing songs for a long time for folks.
Actually, Dolly deserves a lot of credit.
Yes,
that people
honey.
don't give her the credit.
She writes
that she
a lot of
deserves.
songs for a lot of people.
Yeah, and then people do redo her songs.
Yes.
And people think that's theirs, but it's not. It's
not.
actually Dolly
It's
Parton.
Dolly Parton's. What up, Dolly?
Did you ever tell the people your name?
I did, baby. You wasn't listening? Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
Because
Were
you
not
had me
listening?
doing a side project.
Thank you for the side project.
That's
now.
why.
Thank you.
Family, welcome.
Hi, guys. Welcome.
Welcome. We appreciate you.
We do appreciate you.
We thank you for listening.
We thank you for listening.
However you're listening, whether it's on iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, Google Podcasts,
What?
Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, or on our own personal website at www.thecrenshawcorner.com.
You real rusty, bro.
Whatever.
You real rusty.
And you crusty. So, I mean,
Rusty,
since
crusty.
we
We're a couple.
usties out here.
Rusty, crusty. I
Since
like
we
it.
usties out
We
here.
usties out here.
So, we welcome you, family. We thank you for listening.
Hi.
For our returning family members, you already know how we feel about you.
What is up, returners? We love you guys. We love you guys. I just want to give a shout out to everybody who has called and texted and like where y'all at, what you been doing, what's up. I'm sorry I'm missing something. And for the ones who've called and said they went back to some of the older episodes, thank you guys so much. We are grateful for you guys just hanging there with us. And I thank you for loving us. Thank you. I just had to say that, babe. I had to say that.
And we do appreciate. We thank you for hanging in there with the Crenshaws. And for our new family members, welcome.
Family members, listen to me. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for showing up for the first time.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
We don't know who told you about us, or you might just stumbled on us, but we're appreciative. Thank you so much. You don't know what you're going to get with the Crenshaws. So if this is your first time listening to us, thank you. But go back and listen to some the episodes that
You're
we've
gonna
done.
get something.
So you can get an aha moment. And then, but you will also know who we know what you're gonna get if you want to come back. I think that's the real situation there.
You have to listen to the Crenshaws for at least 19 episodes before you really can make a judgment.
Fill us out. Fill us out.
Yeah, listen to at least 19 episodes.
Not 19,
At least
babe.
19.
19 of
And then
them.
on that 20th episode, if you're still a little unsure, listen to 19 more.
Yeah.
And then you can make a conscious decision.
Yeah, a real decision.
A real decision on an educated decision
on how you feel
on
about
how you
us.
feel about the
Yeah,
Crenshaws.
I like that. I like that, babe. I do.
But with
I like
the Crenshaws, we consider ourselves an interactive podcast.
We do.
Which means we can be found on the socials. You can email us at any time at the CrenshawCorner@gmail.com.
Yes.
Once again, the CrenshawCorner@gmail.com. So there we go. There's housekeeping.
That was
All
nice.
said and done. Yeah, I decided to do that a little quicker.
I see.
Yeah, so
like it's July. We're not gonna talk about cookout or nothing like that. We're not gonna say that.
Nah, I'm not gonna do that right now.
We're not gonna do it.
Nah, we're gonna let the summer go in full effect. We're gonna get the first barbecue of the season out the way first.
We live in North Carolina.
We're in North Carolina. For the family members who are not within the United States, because we actually do have a lot of family members that are not within the United States, and we thank you for that. We thank you for listening.
Yeah.
So we are located in the U.S. And we're located in the state of North Carolina, which is the eastern part of the country.
Yes.
More kind of the southeast.
What?
The southeast.
The southeast
is where we're located.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
And right now it is hot.
It is extremely hot.
I don't want to
in North Carolina. Right there.
That right there. That's all I got. It's hot right now. So I just wanted to just put that out there because it's hot. I'm gonna keep saying hot.
Is that what you're gonna keep saying?
I like the way I say hot. Yeah.
Sound like you having a moment.
With what?
Sound like you may need. So for our family members who are not in the U.S. So
did you Google that?
It's averaging for us, of course, within our culture, we do degrees. And the rest of the civilized world, they do Celsius.
Okay, whatever.
So right now for us, it's like 90 degrees Fahrenheit.
Ridiculous.
Which equates to about 32 degrees Celsius for you. So you can kind of understand when we say it's hot, what we mean.
But here's the thing.
What's up?
That 90 degrees means nothing for North Carolina because it's 90, but by the time you get outside, it's feeling quite 99.
Yeah.
Super dry.
Yeah, it's dry heat.
It's dry heat.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
So we gonna do the weather that we.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
You meteorologist now?
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I like it.
All right. Well, what are you talking to the family about today?
Okay, so let's talk about communication. Anyone who's been listening to us know that we talk about communication all the time.
Yeah, that is one of the bases of this platform.
Yes, it absolutely is. I was listening to Pastor Keon Henderson. And his wife.
Okay.
Pastor Sarah Jakes and her husband.
Okay.
And I apologize for not saying Shawnee is for Pastor Keon. That's his wife's name. Am I saying her? Could you give me that lolook? Am I not saying her name?
I don't know, baby. I'm not going to lie to you.
Then for Pastor Jake, it is Pastor Tori or Taurus.
You should have did your research for you. Turn on the microphone. That's all I'm going to say, but go ahead with yourself.
Pastor Tori. So, and if I said it wrong, I completely apologize to the men and women of God. But Pastor Keon said something very interesting, and for us being talking about communication, and they were talking about communication, and one of the things that he said is that when your significant other decides to have a hardcore conversation with you, I want to see if we're good at this, a hardcore conversation with you.
I'm sorry, is it Shawnee O'Neal?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Sean. Oh,
it's Shawnee. Mm-hmm.
I apologize. The only reason I'm saying this, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Shaquille O'Neal's former ex-wife.
Former wife. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, that's Shawnee.
Yeah, Shawnee. So I did say it correct,
yeah,
right?
you said it right.
And Pastor.
I'm Googling, so just keep talking.
So anyway, so they were having a couples conversation on stage at an event, and one of the things that struck me that Pastor Keon and Pastor Shawnee was talking about was communication and how to handle communication.
I'm gonna assume this is Tori.
Tori, so did I say it right, Pastor
because
Tori?
it's spelled Toure with an accent on the E.
It's either Tori or Torre. Right?
Because of the accent on the E, I'm gonna go Torre.
Okay. Yes.
Let's go Torre.
Sorry, pastors.
There we go.
But they were discussing in reference to communication, and when you come to your significant other, and how do you communicate to have those hardcore conversations, those uncomfortable conversations, basically, or just drop a bomb on your person.
Right.
And so one of the things, did two things. We're going to start with the first one.
Okay.
Was basically allowing your spouse to go ahead and say all that they need to say uninterrupted for 10 minutes or whatever it takes them to get it out of their mouth. But while you're doing it, you can't sigh. You can't be ready to be like giving the face, I'm ready to answer, or be composing an answer. You can't roll your eyes. You can't turn your back. Like, you have got to give them your full attention with this conversation. And I thought that was very interesting. I know for us, for a long time, when one of us was dropping a bomb or having this hard conversation, we were already we were taking tally and being ready to formulate the answers or the rebuttal to the actual conversation,
because we already came into it with our guard up.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Because we're all different,
mm-hmm.
but when it comes to married men, there are certain words that we never want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And the phrase "we need to talk"
mm-hmm.
is one of those phrases,
because
it never goes well.
Mm-hmm.
It never, when anyone ever comes to you and says we need to talk,
mm-hmm.
it's never like, okay, we need to plan a birthday party. It's never that. It's never. It's always an issue. So 9 times out of 10, whenever our spouse we get that we need to talk message,
mm-hmm.
our guard automatically goes up. And I think for women it's the same. When your husband comes to you and is like, well, I got something to say, or I got something to get off my chest, I think a lot of the times our guard automatically comes up. And because our guard comes up, that's whenever your guard is up, you're really not listening. To be honest, you're really not fully listening whenever your guard is up.
Well, if you come to me and say, "Hey, babe, we need to talk," or "Oh my God," because I'm like, "What them?" Because there's two things. It's gonna like what popped up financially and what popped up with your children. Because those are I'm the more, "Hey, baby, let's talk." You are not.
Yeah.
So, if you do it, it's something that happened financially or something that happened with your little babies, your little children.
And the moment you say we need to talk, what's the first question I ask you?
What I do now.
It
ain't got nothing to do with you. I have to go. It has nothing to do with you. And so, but how are you? How do you feel about the uninterrupted? No sighing, no rolling the eyes, no huffing, no puffing, no how long is this going to take? How are you with that? How do you feel about that?
I think that's the mature way to handle things. To be honest, I think that takes a lot of maturity, and not even so much as a adult maturity, but that takes a lot of emotional maturity, which unfortunately a lot of adults do not have. A lot of adults do not have the necessary amount of emotional security, emotional. What am I trying to say? Not security.
Depth.
No. What was I just saying? What word was I just using?
I don't know, baby. You said
maturity.
Maturity.
One of them irities.
Emotional maturity.
Emotional maturity. To actually accept, I'm gonna say criticism, because a lot of the times what happens is that when your spouse is coming to you talking about how they feel and what's going on, 9 times out of 10 they're talking about a situation and how a person handles a situation and not necessarily the person.
Right.
So it's not. So if I come to you and be like, you know what, babe, I wish you would cook more, or I wish we would go out more, or something like that, where I'm addressing a situation.
Right.
But a lot of it's because we don't have the emotional maturity. We take it as an attack against us.
Right.
It's an attack against our character.
Right.
So unless you have that emotional maturity to be able to sit there and actually truly listen to someone unfiltered,
right,
and not adding or subtracting,
right,
because I think that's where, and I know I'm kind of going around,
you're right,
but I think that's where the difficulty comes in as well, because when your spouse comes to you with that conversation, a lot of the times we don't take the conversation at face value. We want to add something to what they're saying. We want to subtract something, even though you said,
or take up for ourselves.
Yeah, even though you might have just came to me and said, babe, when you take off your shirt, if it's dirty, put it in the dirty clothes.
Right.
That was what you needed to express to me at that point in time. That was the gist. But because of who I am, I heard, I don't never do nothing. I ain't clean. I'm a child. You didn't call me a child. I can't pick up after myself. So I didn't add it so much into this conversation of words and thought processes you never said.
Right.
And now I'm on the offensive, and now I'm on the defensive, because now you've attacked my character.
Right.
Instead of me just sitting there and actually just listening.
Right.
And take what you said at face value. What you said at face value is something really simple.
Right.
When I take off a shirt, if it's dirty, put in the dirty clothes. Not an attack against me.
Right.
It's just a situation.
And what's going on.
But I think for a lot of us, we're so busy. And a lot of it, I'm going to speak for me. A lot of it comes from childhood.
Because I was going to say, it's a trigger. It
It's
can
a
be
trigger.
some things
For a
that
lot of
people say
people,
can
it's a
be a trigger.
Because if you grew up the way I did, there wasn't a lot of things that you did that were right. I never heard about what I was doing right.
Right.
I always heard about what I was doing wrong. And it was always a level of not quite good enough, no matter what.
Not hitting the mark.
Yeah. So no matter what effort I put in, no matter what I did, no matter what I attempted to do, it was never quite good enough.
Okay.
And I know that a lot of people grew up that way, especially a lot of people from our generation.
Right.
Because if we're honest, and once again, talking in general terms,
right,
not a lot of parents from the previous generation knew how to communicate with their children.
To articulate.
Right.
In the way that children needed, put it like that.
In the way that they needed.
Because they could communicate.
Right.
But not what you needed.
and so a lot of us took that into our adult life. And so now when our spouse wants to come to us and have a conversation, once again, about a situation, not necessarily about us,
right,
personally, because we already have that in the back of our head. Well, nothing I do is ever good enough, or nothing ever satisfies.
No, here she goes again.
He goes again. He goes again. What? Because, like I said, for the longest time, that was always my go-to, and sometimes I still fall into that. Anytime you say "let's talk," my first impulse is what I do now.
Well, actually, it's two things: it's what I do now, or what did your kids do? Like legitimately, like, babe, what I do, nothing. Okay, so. Which child?
Right.
It's like, or which child? The interesting part about this is the fact of the matter of doing it, letting whoever's talking do it for 10 minutes or more, let them just drop it. But the interesting part about it is because you have those walls up, it is very difficult for your body expression not to, even if you're not saying anything. So that was the beauty about what he was saying. It was like, no rolling your eyes, no sighing,
Right.
no turning your back, no like,
No fidgeting,
no
yeah.
fidgeting, nothing, but honestly, genuinely giving your full attention to that person. But if you're triggered, right, and that triggers you, your body expression is going to show that trigger, right? And whether it be maybe not rolling your eyes, but be like, or the way you move your eyes around, or how you, not you and gentlemen, whoever it
Right,
is,
general.
giving that off that body with that other person who, even though you may not think, I'm giving them 10 to 20 minutes of interrupt so they can say what they want, but you actually are not, because of your body language, because of your sighing, rolling eyes, or whatever the case is, you've actually cut what their thought process in half. You stump the growth of the conversation.
You've invalidated their feelings.
Exactly.
You've invalidated
Exactly.
what they feel, what they think, what the message they're trying to convey. You've invalidated it.
Yeah. Because what happens is, especially if they're advocating for what they need, right? Which is for communicating, for couples to advocate what you need, sometimes it's super hard, right? Because you're saying, I need time away, or I need a break, or I can't handle this right now. I need to do something. I'm not happy. Whatever the thing that you may say that you're advocating for yourself and your significant other, to give you that time period to just say what they need to say, however they feel, without you saying anything, but also because at that point you're invalidating their, like you said, their feelings, what they feel, how they feel, and what they're saying is not important while they're trying to advocate for themselves.
Elements of personal communication. 7% spoken words, 38% voice and tone, 55% body language.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Once again, elements of personal communication. 7% spoken words, 38% voice and tone, 55% body language. What that basically means that as we're having a conversation with someone, the least amount of what we're paying attention to is the actual words that you're saying. That is the least amount of what we're paying attention to. We pay attention more to your tone and your voice of what you're saying.
Right.
And then the majority of what we're looking at is your body language. How are you responding? Because here's the thing.
Yes, absolutely.
Your words say one thing. Your body says something totally. Your body tells the truth.
Yeah, your body tells the truth. Your body tells the truth.
That's the thing about the human body.
Yes, it's going to tell the truth.
Your words may lie, and it may not even be an intentional lie, but your words will lie. But your body will always tell the truth.
Your body like, that ain't it.
You can be saying all day long that, yes, I'm comfortable with the conversation. Yeah, I'm fine. We're okay. Yeah, say what you need to say.
Yes.
But if your lips are tight, if your arms are folded, if you're sitting back withdrawn, your body tells the truth.
Your body tells the truth. And what's interesting too with the tone for married couples, and me and Sid go through this a lot too. And
I tell you all the time.
I'll be like, baby. He'd be like, no, I don't mean anything by it. There's a different tone when you don't mean something by it and when you do mean something by it. I've been with you almost 24 years. I know the difference, right?
That's more you.
No, bro.
That's you. I gotta check you on your tone all the time.
You ain't gotta check me on nothing.
Check you on your tone today.
You did not.
I'm just
you
saying.
chose to try to check me.
No,
on
I had
myself.
to because you got out of hand with yourself.
No, because you didn't remember what you said.
That's not.
You don't remember what you said and what we said together.
I know what I said.
Anyway, like I said,
it was the tone.
So most couples, they know each other's tone. If the tone is coming from a good place, an agitated place, a bad place, I don't want to hear it place.
Right.
And so those things alone can stop the person from advocating for themselves or make them feel like their thoughts are not valid. And all, so that's the part of the hardcore communication. Right. And how do you do that? That's something that you have to practice and do for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
we are human. This is not something that's going to just change. Like I'm always going to, you can not do it for a while and then you kind of revert back to it. So it's wanting to have the healthy communication is being mindful and being intentional about it.
Communication is an ongoing process.
Every day. Yes.
I think that's the part about communication, the part about marriage that a lot of people don't discuss is that you never perfect marriage.
Never.
You never perfect communication.
It's hard when we're growing.
You get better at it.
Right.
And your marriage becomes more effective. Your communication becomes more effective, but you never perfect it.
No.
Because every day it changes.
Right.
Because like my wife just said, as people, we change.
We grow.
And we talk about it a lot. Our love language change. The way we want to be spoken to, the way we want to speak.
Yeah.
Changes.
Absolutely.
As we grow. It could be, when we first got together, I didn't mind if your tone became elevated when we spoke. Now, the older I get, it irks me. I don't need the tone in your voice. I don't need it. I need you to turn that down some.
Is that a dig at me? I just want to make sure we're
No, I'm just saying. I'm in general, talking in general terms.
Was that a general?
Yeah.
It didn't feel general.
No, it's in general terms. I don't need that.
Right, exactly.
It could be that, early in our marriage, the strong silent type worked. Now you sick of silence. Now you want to talk more.
Yeah.
So it has to.
Yeah, that's definitely not us because I talked from the beginning of the marriage.
I'm talking about
till I die. I'm just trying to see which part is me. Okay, carry on.
So we have to understand that we change.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so your communication changes.
Yeah.
The way you communicate, the way you want to be communicated to, it changes.
Absolutely.
But you have to work at it. It's something that every day you have to choose.
Yeah.
Every day you have to choose, I want to be open in my communication. But I want to touch on something really quick. Because he was touched on, when having those hard conversations, whoever needs to have the conversations with the other person, gives them the time, gives them the floor, so to speak.
Yeah, basically.
Basically gives them the floor. But also, that's not something that you can just do right away. You have to work towards that. Both parties do.
Absolutely.
It's because it has to be a situation, and I've said this before, and we talk about this all the time. You, as a married couple, you have to create a safe place.
Exactly.
It has to be a safe space. And I know that's a term that's been thrown around a lot lately in this generation, safe spaces. And I know some of the older generations don't really like that term because, let's be honest, the older generation looks on the next generation and the generation behind us as a little too sensitive.
Yeah, kind of soft.
A little too soft. Man up, woman up, put your big girl panties on, deal with life, so on and so forth. In certain ways, there's some validity to that.
Certain ways, that's good.
But in certain ways, the old ways don't work. They just don't work.
No.
Especially in a marriage where communication is key.
Right.
So keeping things bottled up, keeping things inside.
Dangerous.
Not creating those spaces to have those open and honest conversations. No, those one of the old traditions that has to die.
Yeah.
Kill it where it stands.
Yeah. And if you when it comes to space, there's two things going to happen. You're going to open up the space for you both to communicate and grow together. Or you're going to open up those spaces where you're going to have so much space because you didn't communicate.
Right.
So either way, space is happening.
You're going to have space.
So however you want this space to go down, space is happening. But then something else interesting, he said, but on the receiving end, now that the person has said what they needed to say and you've given them the undivided attention, whatever the case is, that person has to also understand. So at that point, once I hear you, I ask permission to respond. Because here's the thing, like we should do our children. Are you venting or you want me to say something?
Right.
And I think that goes back and forth in the marriage as well. Okay, asking permission, can I respond? Just because we are married does not mean that I automatically need to respond, have to respond, or do anything. But it was so good to ask permission, because what if you were just venting, and as you're venting to me, that the picture is clearing up for you, right? You're answering your own questions. You're advocating for yourself. You realize what you said, some is invalid and some is valid, right?
I just needed a sounding board.
Right. I just needed a sounding board. And then I just go, well, first of all, that whatever you were thinking, that kills the thought, right? But if I say to you, hey babe, can I say something? And you have the right? You have the right to say, no, this was a venting session. But the second thing he says, which was interesting, if you say, what are your thoughts, babe? Remember, you just dropped all of your advocate stuff on me.
Right.
You had time with it. I have not. And the expectation for me to have an answer for you right away is so unfair, right? So to have the right to go, right now, I don't have the capacity. I need to sit with this before I can respond. And I'll get back to you, right?
Yeah.
That's a good thing. The crazy part, I never gave you that because that's not my mentality. I'm looking at you like, okay, so you need a minute. You because I'm a call and response person.
You'll ask me, it'll be 7:00 in the morning. My left eye just open. You'll ask me, babe, what do you think about the theory of relativity?
Yeah, it's important.
I need an answer right now.
Yeah, I need an answer right now.
No.
So it's like, so when he said that, it was like asking permission to the other person. Do you want me to respond, or am I a sounding board? I like what you said, sounding board, but also not getting angry with the other person because you do want a response, but right now they don't have the capability to be. How do you handle that? Right? Can you and are you able to handle that? I think that's another thing to talk about too.
That comes with, once again, the emotional maturity. And also, I want to touch on something else too before we kind of complete that thought, because it goes both ways. Because there's two answers to that question. So if it's a situation where they are looking for a response, like you said, give the other person a space, understanding that you sat with this all day or all week or all month or whatever it was. You've had a chance to sit with this and collect your thoughts and get your talking points in order. Everything is new
to them,
to your spouse. Everything is new.
Right.
So it's a lot of unpacking they have to do.
Right.
But to the flip side of that as well, I'm just venting. As the spouse, you have to have the emotional maturity to, at that point, let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go. No matter what it was that I needed to get off my chest, no matter what it was I needed to vent, no matter what it was that I needed to work through just through a sounding board. And if you say, okay, well, are you venting or do you want a response? I'm just venting. Once I'm done, it's done.
Right. I can walk away.
It's done.
I'm walk away.
No matter what you took from that.
Right.
We're done.
No
this
matter
conversation,
how bad you want to respond.
It's a period. And
no comma.
Yeah, it's no comma. And no semicolon. This is not a compound sentence.
No.
Period, and we're done. End of thought.
Yeah.
And it's not a situation. Once again, you have to have the emotional maturity where once it's done, you don't come back in a week and be like, you know what? Well, let me say what you said this.
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
There is none of that.
Yeah.
There's no we don't revisit this conversation,
right? Or retaliate. Well, since we're advocating for ourselves, and you claiming like you're advocating for yourself now, but adding in what your spouse said from their advocation. We can't do that.
And once again,
you cannot do that. I mean, you could, but it's wrong.
It's the twofold of creating a safe space that gives your partner the freedom to be able to vent or request feedback. And then once again, if it's just a venting session, for you to let it go.
Right.
I don't care. I don't care if they told you if part of their problem was your mama nosy and I want her out my business.
Don't matter.
It don't matter.
It's a venting session.
It's a venting session.
It's a venting session.
I ain't never liked the way you made my grits.
It's a venting session.
It is a venting session.
It's a venting session.
We don't come back in 3 weeks and be like, well, my mama just no.
No,
we're good.
We're good here. And understanding too, because it is new to us, and I'm hearing that you don't like my mama for the first time. I'm gonna need a moment, right? I don't have a response to that right now, and I don't want to attack you right now. So let's see.
Perfect example. I'm glad you did that because, and I'm gonna do this, and I love my people, but that's what you women do.
Whatever.
That's what you women do. Never said anything about not liking your mama. I said your mama knows.
But we add on what we like. We add on what we like. And that's everybody though, because if I do that to you, be like, so your mama don't like me. We better get in front of baby, that ain't what I said. I said today, she said you got on her nerve. Not that she didn't like you for the rest of our marriage, just today.
And that's what we do. We add and subtract when it's not necessary.
Yes.
Because my only thought process was your mother's nosy and it's aggravating me.
Yeah.
I still love her. She's still good people.
But she nosy.
And you know your mama nosy.
Keep out our business.
But now the fight is, you don't like my mama. You done disrespecting my mama. You don't like me because you don't like my mama. I am my mama. You done call me my mama. And now it's then went down a whole different rabbit hole.
That's the reason why once you realize it's a venting session, let it go. Don't let it sit. Don't let it fester. There's no call and response to that unless it's the person who had the communication with you go, hey, I do want you to say something. Hey, what's your thoughts? Hey. And again, it goes back to as long as that person understands that you may not have thoughts on that right away, that there's nothing that I can say right now, or maybe I need to calm myself down,
right.
Or maybe I need to sit with it because these are valid things that you're saying. And I need to go back and really look at what's happening around me. So, because I want to give you, as spouses, we're on the same team. I want to give you the best response without you feeling attacked,
right.
belittled, berated, or make you feel like what you said was not important. What advocating for yourself or what advocating for your needs are not important. So we got to be super mindful of it. So I thought it was really good when he said that, though.
And also understanding that you can't control every situation.
No.
Whoever initiates the conversation sets the ground rules.
Say it again, please.
Whoever initiates the conversation
That's so good,
sets the ground rules.
Right.
And you can't control every situation.
Right.
Because the hardest part for married couples to understand sometimes is that everything is not about you. It's not.
Right.
Even if I'm having a conversation about how your actions may affect me, it's not about you. It's not about, it is simply about, this is what's affecting me.
How it's making you feel.
You just happen to be the person that's the catalyst.
That's making me feel that
That's
way.
making me feel that way.
Exactly.
So because I love our relationship and I want our relationship to grow and I don't want to be miserable and I don't want to make you miserable and I want to make sure that you're happy and I'm happy and the love is still flowing.
Right.
I need to have this conversation.
Right.
I need to tell you how this particular action is affecting me.
Yeah.
Not how Angela's affecting me.
Right.
You know, not that I think Angela doesn't love me anymore or Angela's mistreating me. No, there's a certain aspect of your behavior that I feel we need to talk about.
Yes.
Because there's going to be a time where Angela has to come to me and be like, okay, babe, there's a certain aspect of your behavior that we need to discuss.
Yeah. How you handled me, how you spoke with me. It is one of those things that reminding yourself that communication is key, number one, and that we're on the same team, number two.
Yeah.
And in order for us to grow, we have to have these conversations, but we also have to have a mutual respect for each other,
right,
for our thoughts, our opinions, and our perspectives and how we feel, because we're never going to see everything eye to eye. We're never going to see everything the same. So we can just nip that in the bud. And that's fine.
Even twins.
Yeah.
Who shared the same womb for 9 months. They don't even agree on everything all the time.
Absolutely.
And they shared a womb. So how can two people that comes from two different backgrounds, two different wombs, two different parents, two different sets of parents, sometimes two different parts of the world, sometimes two different cultures,
religion, all kinds of stuff.
How can they agree on everything all the time? It's impossible. It's impossible. So how do we navigate that? How do we move through that?
Right.
And I love what he's saying is that we have to create that space where sometimes I just need to just get something off my chest.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Sometimes and I think this is the hard part for married couples to understand sometimes too. Just because right now I don't want your opinion doesn't mean I don't value your opinion.
Come on, Sanchez.
Because
yes,
I value your thought process. I value your perspective.
Yeah.
I value how you look at life.
Right.
It's just in this moment, I don't want it.
Right.
And it's okay.
And it's okay. And that doesn't, you didn't say that you didn't want me or you don't care about me and my thoughts. You're just saying in this moment, I am doing a venting session with my wife or my husband, my best friend, and I just got to get it off of me. And you happen to be the safe place
right.
I can place it. I'm not trying to give it to you to make it your back. And another thing, understand too, that when you're doing that and they saying they just want to vent, do not try to fix it, because we do that too, right? Yeah. As husband and wife,
I'm real bad for that.
Yeah, we'll try to fix the situation. I don't want you to fix anything. I just wanted to vent. I just wanted to tell you I don't need it fixed. I just don't need it fixed. I just need that you're my safe person. You're my basically, it says Grey's Anatomy, you're my person for all things. Yeah. Right? I don't know if anybody know what Grey's Anatomy is, a TV show.
Deep cut.
Right? But you're my person. And so I bet we need to talk, and I'm doing all of this, and then you say, hey, baby, you venting, you want me to say something? Baby, I'm just venting because you're my safe place. We're done. We're done. Even if it's about you or the children or whatever, I don't want to come to you with some issues about the children, and next thing I know, you're trying to fix it and you take it on, because we have a tendency as husband and wife to take on something from our spouse and try to fix it or make it better for them.
Yeah.
But that's when it's not what, and you probably could fix it, but it's not what I'm asking you to do. Once I say to you, I am just venting.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Because, and like I said, I am guilty of it. Don't come to me with a problem if you don't want a solution. But I'm not listening though, because, and that's my fault, because
did you say I'm not listening though?
Yeah, I'm not listening. And that's my fault, because I should have, if I would have just listened to what you said. And once again, don't add, don't subtract, and understand that it's not my job to fix you.
Yeah, come on now.
It's not.
Yeah.
It is not my job to fix you.
Yeah.
It is my job to love you. It is my job as a husband to protect you. It is my job to be your covering, but it's not my job to fix you.
Absolutely.
It is my job to support you in any way that you need supporting at that point in time. Now, if you have an issue that you feel that I may be able to work on or correct and you want my help with,
right,
then I have to listen and be like, okay, babe, here.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But what happens, and we've done this before. I've done this before, where you come to me venting, and then I took it upon myself to try to fix it.
Right.
You get upset,
right,
because I tried to fix something that wasn't mine to fix.
Right.
And then now I'm mad at you for getting mad at me,
because I'm trying to help you.
Because all I was doing was you're ungrateful. You ungrateful. Because I'm just trying to help you.
Right. You're like, what?
And now it's something, and now it's a whole bigger deal.
It's a bigger deal.
When all I needed to do from the beginning was just listen. Because the one thing I know about you is that you say what you want. Now, you do have a flaw.
Whew.
You have a flaw that
in general? People in general?
No, I'm talking about you.
Oh, Angela.
Talking about Angela right now. Cool. You have a flaw that God is amazing at how he does things.
Because I'm an amazing woman.
That's not what I was about to say.
Wait, whoa, player.
I was about to say.
Okay, carry on then.
That even though there's a bond and a connection that runs through all of his creations. There's the beautiful thing about God is that no matter what, you will always find like a common thread that runs throughout all his creations. And one of the common threads that runs through the species of female is that y'all think people mind readers.
Really, baby?
Y'all do. Y'all think people mind readers.
Really, baby?
Yeah. Y'all have a whole conversation in your head. Never verbalized it. Never once said anything through verbal communication. Have a whole
I feel like you're not listening.
Conversation in your head.
I feel like you didn't listen.
And then get mad at me for not knowing the conversation that you had. So Yeah, y'all, that ain't got nothing to do with it. I just wanted to bring that to the forefront.
Really? But why though? Because every chance you get, you bring this to the forefront.
I just wanted to bring that to the
forefront. So you want to always bring it to the forefront, bro?
I just felt like it was time to bring that to the remembrance, so I can
because we haven't done it in a couple episodes.
Yeah, and
okay,
so I can remind the beautiful women that God has created. We can't read your mind. We have a lot of abilities,
but that ain't it.
But telekinesis,
that's not the one.
Ain't one of
that
them.
Ain't one of them. Blessed and highly favored.
I have not met Charles Xavier, Professor X in real life. I don't think there's one that exists.
Okay.
We not out here being able to read your mind.
Well, I appreciate you.
And here's why I say that. I actually did have a purpose for saying that.
Go ahead.
Here's why I say that. Because if it's her, if it's the wife that initiates the conversation, you have to be fully transparent with your husband. You have to fully explain what is your issue, what is going on, what are we talking about. You have to give a full you cannot leave anything to chance.
Right.
And the reason I say that is because a lot of the times what happened is, especially in marriages that have been together for so long, for some reason
we think we should just know each other.
We should just know. You should just know how I feel.
I should just give you 3 sentences and you should automatically know what's going on in my life.
You should just know. You should just know that I wanted you to do this or I wanted you to do that without me saying it.
Right.
And unfortunately, it does not work that way all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you're, from a female perspective, if you're the one that's having to initiate the conversation, then you have to be as plain and simple, and not saying that your husband is unintelligent, or not saying that it has to be dumbed down.
Right.
But when you're talking about your emotions and you're talking about what's affecting you, you can't leave anything to chance.
Yeah.
If the situation is that he doesn't do something that you want him to do, but you've never said it to him, you have to tell him.
Yeah.
You have to tell him, I would like for you to do this. Don't assume. If you want him to do more around the house, or if you want him to help with the kids more, or if you want to go out on a date, or if you want to go out more, or whatever it is, or you want to socialize more, or you want to have more parties at the house, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You just can't assume, oh, well, he knows I'm social, so he should know
this is what I want to do.
This is what I want to do.
This is what I want to do.
Or he knows that I've been home with the kids all day, so he should just know.
Come in the door, take your kids because I'm out.
Come in the door and just, he should just know. Or he should know if there's dishes in the sink, he should just know to do them. Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Because there's different ways. It could be one cup. He could be a type of person that it needs to be a full sink before he does the dishes.
I'll be hyperventilating for a full sink.
You know, but there's different ways.
There's different ways of doing it. I think too, when it comes to the men, especially, is to advocate for yourself and tell you what you need from us for mental health purposes. Because we've talked about this before. A lot of times, men do not articulate what they actually need from us. Yeah. Right.
Because a lot of men were not taught how to.
They weren't taught how to. And so the goal is to be able to articulate that. And I think for married couples, if you come in with the foundation, because everything's going to change. The foundation should not change, right? But everything around you, like a house, the foundation should not change. The rest of the house, you can switch it up, but the foundation shouldn't change. And I think making communication part of your foundation, making listening to each other a part of your foundation. Are you venting, or do you want me to say something? The foundation of, hey, if you can't answer me right now, or this is not a way that you have a response right now, tell me that, and I'll understand that, and we can circle back. So there are things that part of the foundation that he said that is so amazing to create for your marriage if you haven't already, or for before you get married. Because we talk to people who before they get married, when they get married, but also understanding that you do have to advocate for yourself in your needs, because your significant other does not know. Does not know. And for men to don't close in, like, tell us what, because a lot of times if they say what they need or get any vulnerable, it makes them feel like they're weak, not strong. It makes them think that the wife's going to think they can't take care of the family. It is none of that. I want your mental health to be strong. So I want you to advocate for what you need and articulate what you want so we can have a communication that works for our 50th anniversary or our 60th anniversary, where we're still here loving on each other. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I got.
That was good. I think there's a good place to end.
Yeah,
so,
it is. But I love that. Thank you, Pastor Keon Henderson. Thank you, First Lady Henderson. Thank you, Pastor Jakes.
Not First Lady Henderson.
I'm saying that because on the thing she said that just weirds her out. Like
somebody called her the First Lady.
Thank you, Pastor Sarah Jakes and Pastor Torre. Like, thank you guys so much. Again, I hope I haven't said his name wrong, but thank you for that, because that even helped me when I heard it. I was like, I want to see if Sanchez want to talk about this, because I think sometimes because we've been together so long, that sometimes we forget the foundation of what we created for our marriage, and to go back to it. So yeah. So what's your final thought? Look at me doing that. What's your final thought, Sanchez?
Was that your final thought?
I don't know, but what's your final thought?
See, here we go with that again. Here we go.
What's your final thought?
My final thought is a simple 2 words, and it's safe space. That is my final 2 thought.
Okay.
In a marriage, you have to create a safe space. You have to create a place, and it's not even just so much as the physical home. Of course, you need to create a safe space physically for your family, for your wife, for your husband, for your kids. But it's more important for that place to be safe emotionally, mentally, and spiritually.
Absolutely.
Because physically it can be safe all day long, but if my mental is taking a toll, if my emotion is taking a toll, because I don't feel supported, because I don't feel like I have the right to be vulnerable, if I feel as though whatever I say or do is going to be used against me, that's a very volatile situation. That's almost hell on earth. To live in a situation like that. Yeah,
absolutely.
So it's safe space, because there's going to be times where you have to have those ugly conversations.
Yeah, you have to, guys.
It's inevitable in life. You can try to avoid them all you want.
Yeah.
But the day of reckoning will come where you have to have that uncomfortable, ugly conversation. And the only way that you're going to be able to truly survive that is that by creating a safe space.
Creating a safe space.
So that's my final thought.
I don't have a final thought.
You really don't?
I really don't. I think that...
So I can really end it?
You could end it. I just think this was amazing, and I think that's something that we need to we do some of it. We don't do all of it because we're not perfect, but continue to implement that into our communication skills book for our marriage.
7% verbal, 38% voice and tone, 55% body language.
Ain't that something?
I'm gonna end it right there. So family, thank you for listening, family.
Thank you, guys.
However you're listening, whether it's on iTunes, whether it's Podbean, whether it's Spotify, whether it's Amazon Music, whether it's Google Podcasts, whether it's iHeartRadio, or on our own personal website at www.thecrenshawcorner.com. As always, we consider ourselves an interactive podcast, which means we can be found on the socials, and you can email us at any time at thecrenshawcorner@gmail.com. Once again, thecrenshawcorner@gmail.com. And as always, family, welcome to our journey.
We love you guys. Bye.